Welcome to L&D Today and the series Future of L&D Tech. Today we have with us a leader who has consistently been at the forefront of people transformation, learning innovation, and HR technology adoption. With over 17 years of experience across organizations such as Bisleri, Pfizer, Glenmark, and HDFC, he has built and scaled learning ecosystems, championed digital transformation, and helped shape the future of workforce development at scale. As Director Human Resources at Bisleri International, he has been instrumental in driving people-first strategies while leveraging technology to create meaningful employee experiences. Please join me in welcoming Samir Gaikwad. Thank you, Samir, for joining us and sparing your valuable time for this podcast that we have today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that lovely introduction and for having me here in person.
Absolutely, and a well-deserved one. So, great. So, almost 2 decades, been in the industry, been there, done that, a lot of things. And this podcast is focused on learning AI and all these areas, right? So, we have you for conversations on these areas. Now, when you look back, right, what has changed the most in the way organizations approach learning today? So, let's say 10 years ago to now, what has changed?
I think the word learning itself has metamorphosed. I mean, earlier, good old days, if you recall, people used to call it as the training function.
Right.
And then there was a thought process that human beings cannot be trained. They have to learn. They're not animals.
True.
So I think that terminology itself showcases and expresses the change that the entire function has undergone.
Right.
And in fact, if you look at it in terms of learning or training, as they call it in good old days, it has moved from being an event to becoming an ecosystem.
Right.
Yeah, and what I essentially mean by that is earlier learning was largely classroom based and focused on delivering a checklist of programs.
Right.
Today, if you look at it, organizations are focused on building capabilities that directly support business outcomes.
True.
Yeah, so essentially everything that is going to help the organization win in the marketplace is essentially what all L&D leaders, HR leaders, and managements are aiming for. To give you an analogy, and that's an interesting one, I think in the way back in the year 2008, I think that's the year when IPL also began.
Right.
That's the time when HDFC grouped up, say around 15 of us who were picked up from the best of the institutes across the country.
Right.
And we were sent off to Lonavala because Lonavala symbolized the training academy for HDFC Life.
Right.
Yeah, so anybody who was going to Lonavala is on his way to becoming a manager.
Right.
Yeah, so
True.
that's the way. So now that entire concept of a training academy has moved from it being a virtual or a physical training academy in Lonavala
Right.
to it being in the palm of your hands. Yeah, because training today has to be more accessible, has to be more agile, has to be hyper customized to the user.
Right.
So that's changed. So right from being a buffet which was a set menu,
Correct.
and now it has become a la carte. Yeah, whatever the user wants or whatever the participant wants to undergo in terms of training. So that's largely the kind of shift that I see.
So the shift has been prominently from training to learning. That's right, what you said. Now, you also mentioned something about, the outcome-based training is largely preferred. So do organizations genuinely see learning as a business driver today?
Yes, of course. I mean, progressive organizations absolutely do that. Take Bisleri for instance. We believe that strategy execution depends on the workforce capability.
Right.
So let's say you want to enter into a new product category, you want to enter into a new market.
Right.
Are your people equipped enough to manage that kind of a change? Yeah, so you need to either upskill, reskill them in order to get them efficient enough to enter into that new market. Let's say we entered very recently into the Middle East and North Africa market.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a big change. Whether our people were ready for it, or for example, say around 3.5 to 4 years back, we started a separate sales team for our product called as Vedika. So Vedika, as you know it, it's a very niche and premium product. And out of the 134 factories that we've got, only one, which is in the foothills of Himalayas in Rudrapur, is allowed to tap that kind of natural mineral water. Yeah, so in order to sell that kind of a product, I mean, if my general trade guys, the usual people who sell the Bisleri water, who end up visiting say 40 to 45 outlets on a single given day, and these are basically typically what water is an impulse category, right? Where would you buy it from? Possibly a grocer shop, a brick and mortar shop, hotel, restaurants, or a medical shop. Because that's also a people's preference. This is a team that does, like I said, 45 calls. Now, if this was the team what was supposed to sell Vedika, and where do you think Vedika would be selling, Roshan?
At premium places.
To give you a context, it's $350 a pop. I mean,
so 5-star and above.
Exactly. So our target audience who consumes Vedika is basically in premium fine dine Horeca outlets. So those are the kind of outlets that the audience sits in. So do you think to cater to those hotels, the same guy who's selling Bisleri in the normal grocer shop or in retail outlets could do justice to that product?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, right?
Sure.
So in order for us to ensure that as a sales strategy that Vedika has to achieve its number this year, the ideation went about 3.5 years ago that we need to create a people with separate skill sets.
Correct.
So certain people were identified from the existing talent group within the Bisleri who could be given certain sort of skills or capability development programs which will allow them to sell in this kind of outlets. And then we also looked at some of the niche talent coming in from Alcobev market, because that is the most used to market, going to a 5-star, talking to the procurement manager in a 5-star, or an F&B manager in a 5-star.
Great strategy.
So that was the strategy. So I think that's where L&D is no longer a feel good. It is actually a business need, and it helps us to deliver organizations like Bisleri and the other organizations that we've been talking about in the past. I mean, it helps them to deliver and execute that business strategy. So it's very much, if you ask me, it's very much relevant, and it also, according to me, acts as a unique USP, which they say, for an organization.
True, very true.
Very
so interesting.
That's how I feel.
So, organizations like yours can afford, or you have the capability of, doing these kind of changes, implementing them, and connecting the learning with the outcomes as well. But not all organizations typically fall into that category, right? You have different scale, different sizes. How do they handle these kind of...
No, that's a very interesting offshoot to the previous question. And I think a relevant one, because organizations like ours are blessed to have a full-fledged L&D team. Whereas we also from time to time end up, because what happens over a time is ghar ki murgi dal barabar. So people get used to seeing the same faces. We have an L&D team, but the same kind of team trains them, then they kind of get worked out. And there are certain specialized skill sets. Like very recently, Roshan, just to inform you, we did something called as neuro-linguistic programming. So in order to provide those kind of skill sets, we did not have the trainers within our own ecosystem in the organization. So what we ended up doing is we reached out to specialty consultants like yourselves who actually offer these kind of bespoke services and identify the need and are able to cater and deliver to the client. So that can be done for bigger organizations. For organizations which are slightly smaller in shape and size, and who for budgetary constraints cannot afford to have a full-time, full-fledged L&D team, can also opt to reach out to consultancies, learning and development firms who actually help providing these kind of services.
Absolutely. So, like you mentioned, different organizations, different scale, different learning styles and everything. Now, please also tell us, what learning trends do you believe are overhyped right now in the markets?
I think it's become so obvious. I mean, you get YouTube prompts, you get LinkedIn prompts. I think AI right now, I think is pretty overhyped. And I'm saying overhyped not because I hate it or I don't think it's a relevant technology. I think it's an amazing tool. But the assumption that AI alone can solve all learning challenges, I think that assumption is kind of killing the entire actual purpose of AI. I think micro learning, gamification, all are powerful tools, but without a clear purpose, a sense of purpose or a business purpose, and a strong learning culture within the organization that flows from the top and not just from the CHRO, director, or from the CEO, but across the board, then they become shiny objects rather than meaningful solutions, is what I feel.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed out and
So I think it's a cycle. I mean, in any case, there is a new tool that comes in the market. I mean, people tom about it to the extent that, and I think a large part is being played by the algorithms that YouTube has, which kind of keeps pushing on to saying that you can become the most dangerous person in the room. I don't think any of that is happening anytime soon, because organizations are also evolving at their own pace. Because they have businesses to conduct. So they are evolving at their own pace, and they will assimilate these solutions as and when the need arises. So I think as of now, AI is a bit overhyped.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.